Hello, my name is Scott for SB Gaming and welcome back to Motorsport Manager. We are here with SB Racing. It is April 18th, 2016 and we had a pretty good race just recently. We have the Milan GP coming up in 23 days, and can I go back to the previous results? How do I get to the previous results? Standings, season calendar. Alright, yeah. In Munich, we had a finish of 11th and 12th, which is, of course, pretty impressive for our team. Of course, with that said, as you can see, the top or the bottom 8 drivers had at least one lap down. Sergio Arboleo, or whoever he is, crashed out on like the first lap. And so yeah, we are doing pretty decently. If we take a look at the total standings, our drivers are 14th and 15th. It shows right here as well, but yeah. And we are in 8th position. Our target is, of course, 10th position. And we recently, requested funds. But we got our chairman's happiness up a bit with the impressive performance at Munich, so he's pretty happy, and he's going to be happy because we have to come 10th or above in every race. And since there's only 10 teams, that is not a problem. What is interesting, of course, is that Firebird MRT is in the lead in the championship ahead of Garuda Racing. Garuda Racing normally achieves a victory in almost every race. Bonshaw usually always gets the fastest lap, and but that didn't happen, and so yeah, that's interesting. That's a divergence from previous games I have played. We are currently 8th on the grid for drivers. This is the average, so we're just slightly below average, but that's to be expected. Gomez and Anthony is not all that great. We have a new reserve driver, Frankie Kinney. Now, if you were to play this, odds are Frankie Kinney won't have the pay driver trait, and for this one, we'll pay $219,000 for each race they are involved in, or 50% if they take part in practice. They have a feedback score of 14, which means that they are pretty impressive because Anthony only has an 8 and our previous reserve driver only had a 9. She even has a better feedback score than Andre Gomez. So yeah, this is going to really help us. We're going to get at least 109.5 every race that she's part of the team, that we ride her in practice. She has a marketability of 75%. Controversial. That is, oh, wow. Yeah, interesting. That's a permanent trait. You know what? Faith Anthony, as much as I don't want to use Frankie Kinney, she can't improve. I don't particularly care because, getting that extra money plus the marketability is nice. Like right now, Faith Anthony's is 16%. If we put Frankie Kinney in the driver's seat, that go up to 75%. Andre Gomez at 51%. Team marketability is currently 5%. So yeah, that would be pretty decent. That'd be an additional 60 points. Our marketability would be about 44%. These are our sponsors, and so we're not going to be getting any new sponsors. We have 3 races left on that one, but we are making pretty decent money. $635K for sponsors. We've made $3 million from sponsors to date, and I've saved, because of my trait, $864,000 from our expenses that we have. Actually, nice. Cost per race, $495K. This is the best I've done financially. I have $7.5 million in the bank. It's the second race. And yeah, so about that. We are currently working on reliability of an engine and Gearbox, and this is pretty good, although we can probably switch over to this one completely. You know what? We are going to do that, and we are going to bump this up so that the Gearbox can, at the very least, actually, we don't need, let's shift resources like that. We'll get a bit more performance on these parts, but this will improve overall. We should be about 70-80% at the very least on the performance or reliability on that. We want to get our performance up on our parts so we can improve our car. We are currently designing a new engine, 5 days, 22 hours. We have 5 weeks left for our scouting facility, which is going to be over there. We are upgrading our factory to level 2. That's going to be another 13 weeks. Things are going quite well for us. And so we have Sarah Thomas being scouted in 6 days, Scott Price in 20 days. Once we get that scouting center, we'll be able to add an additional scouting slot, which means we can get through the drivers faster. Also, we will have additional drivers show up on this list, which will give us other options. And yeah, this was our original reserve driver. Kenny is definitely better in every way. Anyway, let's hit the continue button and see what happens. And there we go. So we have an engine complete. Introduction into the GMA. As one of the team principals of the European Racing Series, you are now fully accredited member of the GMA. This means that you'll be called upon to vote on potential rule changes a few times per year. These decisions should not be taken lightly, as each rule change can impact the championship in multiple ways. If you choose to abstain from a vote, you'll save up that vote for another time. This allows teams to focus on their own priority rules. The first vote will start in 2 weeks. Good luck. And the first vote is going to be for the addition of a new race at the Vancouver GP in 1 week. Coming up, there is a potential refueling ban. Cars cannot refuel during the race. This makes things $20,000 cheaper per race when compared with a championship that allows refueling. And then this one I'm a little bit concerned about. Points for the top 8. We are a growing team. We need the points to stay in the midfield. And so, yeah, about that. Although with that said, the prize money, where is the GMA? Where can I see standings? Prize fund, $125 million. We are running on a, what it's called, standard merit payments. There is a small difference in prize money awarded to the top and bottom teams, rewarding the top teams at a slightly higher rate than the small teams. So yeah, about that. Anyway, we still have 4 hours remaining. Let's hit the continue button. And we have the results of the World Motorsport Championship. We don't really care about this, although maybe in the future we will care more about how the teams are doing. This is round 3 of 4, and it looks like things are pretty impressive. They get points for the top 10, and the vast majority of the drivers have points, so that is interesting. Alright, let's hit the continue button. And, well, seriously? There we go. Our engine is now complete. We finished building the new engine. We can now fit it to one of the cars. We have a performance of 59, reliability of 20%. That is because, of course, we built a engine with previously built part performance weight of 68, reliability 79%. So yeah, the engine is significantly better, this one here. So we are going to want to improve the parts, and now, and the reason why it has a reliability of 20%, when we went into design parts, we chose this thing here, which gives a big boost to the top speed at the expense of reliability, but that's not a problem. We can always improve the parts. So we are going to That's at 58%. So what we are going to want to do, we are going to want to improve that. We are going to want to shift our resources over. And we might not be able to use it next race, just because reasons. What I would like to do is work on another gearbox. We are going to design a new part. We're going to go with a new gearbox. And so we have available to us plus 25 to max acceleration. We have 2 risky parts here. We have acceleration plus 30, plus 15 to max, plus 20 overall. We are going to go plus 25 to max. We can pick one of these and one of these, or we can do 2 average components, although these are less performance obviously than these. So yeah, 25 to max, 15 to max. So this will give us a higher performing gearbox overall. We're not going to build risky parts just yet. We will do this at the end of the season to maximize the performance stats that we can get. We will not be running risky parts because reasons. So yeah, 25 to max, don't care about that. Acceleration plus 30, or we can spend an extra 2 days building for extra plus 15 to max or plus 20 to acceleration. So we could build a 36-100 or a 46-95. No, we're going to do this, and we are going to work on the performance. It'll cost extra 2 days, so yeah, about that. Yep. So it'll cost 15.2 days, and it'll be available 2 days before the race, but we won't be using it because, of course, the reliability is only 40%. We want to have at least 70 to 80% on the reliability, so that is a thing. We have the cost of $1.15 million, but because of our financial background, we save $57,000 off the cost of this, for a total of $1.093 million. Yes, indeed. That is awesome. I'm really appreciating that background. So we have, yeah, we're still 9th. Our performance is rising, so we're probably catching Archer. We're probably catching Dragon Race, so we just have to keep it moving. And so what I want to do right now, we're working on that. I want to work on that. I want to... For this year, probably what I'll do is stick with 2 engines and 2 gearboxes. Although with that said, there is another vote coming up. Oh, spec brakes. Okay, awesome. Where the brakes are spec parts. So they get 150 performance. You can't improve it. You can't change it. It is what it is, and 80% is the base reliability. So I will probably wait until, yeah, if I do any brake design, I will be waiting until this vote happens to see if we get spec brakes in the next season. All those changes to the rules happen in the next season. I would love to be able to boost the performance of these, but no, we need these as much as possible, so that is going to be that. We have that being built in 15 days, so it'll be before the race. And fit parts, improve parts. What's our 12 weeks for the... Alright, well, about that. And we have a driver finishing scouting. And we have another email. So, scouting report finished. I'm done with my scouting mission. I found out everything there is to know about Sarah Thomas. Sarah would be a fairly decent driver within the European Racing Series. Her potential is good, though, and given the chance to improve, she could certainly become one of the better drivers in the championship. Sarah's best skill is her cornering, but she struggles with her fitness. Alright, so let's take a look at her. And disappointing fitness, 6 braking, 13 cornering, 9 smoothness. Yeah, these yellow So she's a meh. She is a free agent, no contract, morale. She has an entourage, mechanic relationship -25, and that is a temporary penalty. She hates leading, so if she is first place in the race, she loses to her stats. And she's a chaser. I've got them in my sights. Modifier applies when in second place in the race. So she's really good if she's right behind them, but then she sucks if she's ahead. Wow. Yeah, although her marketability is 78%, so that's pretty decent. That would give us some good sponsors. Let's compare her to, say, Faith Anthony. 6 to 8, 13 to 5, so that's not that bad. 9 to 8, good. 12 to 12, that's all right. 7 to 11, that's 8 to 12. 4 to 4, 6 to 8, 10 to 9. So it's kind of a mixed bag. I think overall Faith Anthony is a little bit better, although with that said, she does have room to improve. Is that half a star of improvement there? Or up to 2.5 stars? Potentially. She'd be one maybe I'll consider. We'll just put her on the favorites list. And will the ERS be adding a new race in Vancouver in 2017? A vote at the Global Motorsport Association on Wednesday will decide whether or not the European Racing Series Roadshow will roll into Canada next year. Judging by the circuit layout, the track in Vancouver is likely to be good news for Archer BMR, whose car would likely to perform well. It's always great to visit a new circuit, said Archer BMR engineer. Love to watch our magnificent cars hurtling around the track there. So that is coming up 1 week. So if we take a look at this, there's the vote. Alright, that's about it. Let's hit the continue button. And we have Global Motorsport Association to meet for the first time this year. 10 team bosses for the European Racing Series. Yep, okay. Back problems. Don't panic too much, but I was doing some weights yesterday. When I woke up this morning, my back was in total agony. I can still drive, but I'm not exactly feeling sharp. Just thought I'd let you know. Smoothness, consistency, adaptability, and fitness. 4 weeks. Here's a question. So on top of that, he has a dodgy neck and back problems. Wow. So less adaptability, less consistency, and less smoothness for 4 weeks, which means it's only for the next race, so that's not that bad. Alright, how about that? That's unfortunate. And anything else we need to deal with? Mail. Nope. And it is the vote. New vote started. Must respond. New vote has begun over the GMA. It's about this time around. It's about the addition of the Vancouver GP. Click on the button below to start the vote. The addition of the Vancouver GT, and for those who didn't catch it, it's basically this. This is the home stretch, and I want to say they come in this way. And so the pits are on this side. There's this hairpin here. I think it's a hairpin. Now, this rule will benefit teams likely to perform well at Vancouver. Wow. We're part of the could perform well. Anyway, there's Archer, Eastwood, Predator Racing Group. And the rule will not benefit Silva, Vexella, Dragon Race Team China, which leaves 3 other teams, not Eastwood, Garuda Racing, Octane, and the other team. Whatever it is. You know what? I am going to abstain. We can vote against or vote for. But the way it's looking, without some swing votes, we're probably not going to be adding it to the schedule. 2 votes for abstain, 1 against, 2 against, 3 against, 4 against, 1 for, 1 for, or 2 for, 3 for, and 4 for. And the president votes in favor. Oh, tiebreaker vote. Oh, well. All right about that. Voting over addition of the Vancouver GP wins. The vote on addition of Vancouver GP has ended. The rule change was approved. It will be implemented for the 2017 season. And the next vote starts in 56 days. So if we go to the rules, show next year's rules, edition of Vancouver GP. So that gets added to the schedule. Interesting. All right. So what we are going to do is hit the continue button because reasons. Actually, before we jump ahead too much, apparently there is mail. Prepared a brief report on the next race in the calendar at Milan. It'll be a 21 lap race, so this is a long track, 3.72 miles. And the lap record is 1:56.452. Some rain potentially. We've seen that 40% chance of rain. Yeah, we've seen the chance of rain, but the rain has not actually come. A lot of pressure is placed on the brakes in Milan. And softs and mediums is a fairly good track for tire wear. Our car is pretty excellent at that, yeah, because of our chassis that we got as our bonus for choosing our investor. Alright, about that. Telemetry center. We're never going to be able to have faster, efficient gear changes if we don't invest in a telemetry center. I don't care. Eventually, maybe. First of all, headquarters, new buildings, telemetry center requires a level 2 factory. Well, first of all, we are going to need to deal with the fact that we need to upgrade our factory. Then we can take a look at whether we want to spend the $6 or $8 million for a telemetry center. Anyway, we've had word from a well-placed source that Jenny North of Katana Sport is considering retiring. All right about that. Now, let's take a look at our parts. Race is coming up in 5 days. If we take a look at this, we have the engines at 42%. This gearbox is at 69%. This engine is not good enough, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it off, and we are going to just focus on the reliability of this as much as possible. On top of that, I'm going to switch over Gary Watson, who will get the job done a little bit sooner. He is overall a better mechanic than Billy Evans, so that is that. Other than that, we have 32 performance on that, 24 performance on that. If we go to fit parts, we have, that's fine. We are not going to be using that engine quite yet. We are going to be using that. We're going to switch her over to that gearbox because reasons. And what's her? She still thinks we have equal cars, and he thinks we have better cars. Or he has a better car than Faith Anthony. Awesome. All right about that. So what I want to do is we got that taken care of, and we are designing a new part in 3 days. All right about that. How are we doing? We're still 9th. Oh, we are now 9th in acceleration. We're pushing ahead of whatever that is, Predator Racing Group. Let's hit the continue button, and we have what was that? There are a couple races. All right about that. And so this is the results of the 4th round of the World Motorsport Championship. Looks like Panther Race Team is in the lead. Wow. Yeah, about that. And this is, of course, the Asia Pacific Super Cup. These are the teams we would be potentially racing against next season. Or no, in the future, whenever, not next season, in the future when we do get upgraded or promoted to the Asia Pacific Super Cup. And so we have 3 days until the Milan GP. Anything coming up on the schedule? Gearbox being finished. And we have some mail, I heard, or I saw. Financial management. Milan preview roundup. Let's see what the Motorsport world is saying before the race in Milan. Gerard is going into the Milan GP at the top of the driver standings. And, yep. Really? There's plenty of ground to make up. Eastwood Motorsports is odds on to follow up her win in the last race of Munich with another victory in Milan. Away from the front of the pack, struggling Predator Racing Group. You know, why don't you interview us and have us being in the news? You suck. Anyway, I spot a number of transactions coming out of the account which I find concerning. If this spending pattern continues, you are likely to be very low in cash by the end of the season. We need to spend money to improve things. We have $6 million. We're spending about $500,000 per race. We have 8 races remaining. That means we just need $4 million. We'll have $2.5 million at the end of the season at this rate. I'm doing pretty good, I would say. Scott Price would not be one of the best drivers in the European Racing Series. He doesn't have a huge amount of potential, so we shouldn't expect much to improve at all. Let's check him out. Scott Price is disappointing. Pretty good focus, but focus doesn't mean much. Impacts a driver's mindset and their chances of making a mistake. Maybe reduces the chance of them crashing. If that's all he's good for. Late breaker +2 braking. Annoying other half. Mechanic relationship -10. And feeling blue. Just feeling a little down, I guess. Morale -30 for 2 weeks. Awesome. So yeah, he's disappointing about that. Yeah, his morale is tanking. Milan GP coming up in 3 days. And we have skidding report finish. Jean-Francois Beauchamp, in European Racing Series terms, he's one of the stronger drivers. It's probably not worth staking a huge amount of his potential for improvement as he's operating near to the limits of his driving ability. He struggles with his braking. Predicted end of season position is 2nd. Yeah, he's going to retire at the end of the season, but I'm scouting him mainly to show how horrible he actually is. Actually, these aren't too bad, but braking, feedback, focus, overtaking. Like if we were to compare Beauchamp, who's 40 years old, Canadian, media shy, marketability -30, and old, -2 to all his stats. So yeah, he might have been a good driver in his prime, and wow. Yeah, he hasn't had some good results. If we were to compare him with Faith Anthony, no. Let's compare him with Andre Gomez. Although Andre Gomez has a busted neck. Okay. Alright, Beauchamp is pretty decent. Relative to the drivers that we have. So, okay, maybe not. But I've seen him have much worse stats, so I don't know if things have been changed up. Finished building the new gearbox. We can now fit it to one of the cars. Performance of 36, reliability of 40%. Let's jump over to the car and improve the parts. So we now have a new gearbox. It is only May. That is pretty decent. So what we are going to want to do is we are going to want to focus on the reliability. Nice. This is up to 76%, which means that that will be good enough to use in the next race. So that is the Average Gearbox. Yep, I'm already planning to use it. And so after the race, we're going to want to focus on these two new good parts and then give them to Anthony Gomez. When's our HQ coming up? 2 weeks for the skating facility, 10 weeks for the factory. All right, about that. Anyway, with that done, we travel on to Milan. Anyway, we have sponsor select. We had 11th place in Munich, 15th place in the Black Sea. And so we can choose either from Rustjet for 16th or above, Wanchai 9th or above, or Wonderluck 2nd or above. So we are definitely going to go with Rustjet because I don't think we're going to achieve 9th place quite yet. Maybe a little bit later in the season, which would be a nice chunk of cash. 75,000 is okay, at least for the current time, so it is what it is. Including the bonuses, if we get 16 or above, which we most likely will, $420,000 will be coming our way. Let's just confirm the parts one last time. Fit parts, and so we are giving him the best brakes, we are giving him the better engine, we are giving her the second best engine, we are giving him the best gearbox, and she's getting that gearbox. We are, yep, all right about that. And I just want to check how we're doing 9th and 9th. All right about that. Let's race. And here we are for the practice session. And so we have, what is the weather forecast looking like? Well, it is looking cloudy with a little bit of sun coming out. About a couple minutes into the practice, there will not be any water so far. Track grip going up, but that is irrelevant. It makes absolutely no difference. Anyway, we have Frankie Kinney, who's making us $109,000 for her. Her being a reserve driver and a pay driver. I don't know why Gomez gets a 14 for feedback in the race. Car setup. We are going to not be going on medium tires, I don't think. Alright, so for this track, we have speed balance in the top end. Handling down here, although with that said, handling is down here. Interesting. So handling be somewhere in the middle. Downforce. Alright, what I'd like to do is set things up. Actually, alright, about that. We are going to want to 17, and actually we're going to want more rear wing angle. Let's go to about, we'll do that for now. I'm testing something out. We are going to throw this right about there. We are going to put him on, this is going to be, actually it's going to be like 20 laps or something. So we want that. So what were the numbers? 17, 27, 81, 31. $17, 27, 81, 31. So that is where Gomez's car is sitting right now. So we are going to let's put her on soft. So right now this is where Gomez, so anywhere between here and here, downforce here to here, basically these overlap where the optimum balance is. So speed balance in the top speed here, Alright, so what I'm going to want to do, I'm probably going to put... Let's decrease to 16.5. We're going to... Yep. No, we'll set it here. And then we'll figure out where they are actually going to be. Otherwise, pretty much, yeah, speed balance has to move in the direction of top speed. Handling has to go into the direction of understeer. And downforce, if it has to change, has to go towards low. And so we are going to take the practice. And I really wish this would pause when you jump into this, because then you have time that ticks down and you're not doing anything, which is really annoying. We're going to leave that as is. And one last time. And there are our cars. Kenny's out ahead of Gomez. And so the average lap time, or the optimal, or the track time, is about 150 something. So we'll get about 6 laps around the track maximum. Alright, give me some info. Tell me how the setup is doing. Do I want to bring them in? Do I want to bring them in? You know what? Yep, let's bring them in. I want to see where the balance is. Okay, poor, and excellent. Nice. Although the speed balance is only great. Alright about that. So what we do know is that speed balance for Gomez's car is right about there. Now, and so for an okay result, we want to shift things at least 3 pips. So we are going to drop the downforce. Let's see, that is about... that is about 1, 2, maybe a little bit more. 15.5 and 26, that is about right. Poor, we need to go 5 over. So we are going to want to bring the stiffness up, and I think, so it was somewhere. How did this... 25.5, okay, so changing the downforce, move the handling that way. So we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about there, which changes the speed balance. Speed balance has to go off towards top speed. And an excellent result, we need to bring the gear ratios back down to compensate, which barely changes the understeer, the handling. Let's send him out with that. Keep him on those tires, and we will do Frankie Kinney's. Now with hers also have to go in that direction. So, yes indeed. So we are going to start with downforce, which is poor. That is 5 pips. So we are going to go, that's 1 pip. That's about 2 pips. We are going to go to 15.5. We'll go to there. And very poor means 7 pips. Towards, what was it, understeer? Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, it would be towards understeer. So 1 pip. Suspension 2. We'll put the handling right there, and the speed balance is great. Speed balance needs to go top speed, which it was right there. Great was right there. Great is 1 pip, so we are going to need to tweak this so that it's about one pip's worth. Now I'm going to, yeah, we're just going to tweak it like that. We will send him or her out on that, on those tires. They will make that change. We will see how we do. Probably what you want to do the very first lap is just to get them out for 1 lap, see what the setup is, and then go for there. Unless there are any particular issues, what I'll probably do is keep them out for at least 2 laps. Maybe a 3rd lap, depending on if I want to run them on a flying lap. Mello sets a new fastest sector 2. We have 8 minutes and 45 seconds left to the session. No feedback coming from our drivers, which is annoying, unfortunate. And so what I'm going to do, we are going to kick them to attack and overtake. I want them to push as much as possible. Those tweaks to the downforce are great. Nice job with the setup. That's what I like to see. The aero setup is way better. Nice one. Awesome. And we have race trim. 4.5 minutes into the practice session, and of course soft tires. Yeah, we're definitely going to get more knowledge. Oh, and we have rain. How's the rain gonna look? Well, it looks like it is going to... Can I leave it on the screen? Oh, I hate this. Actually... Oh yeah, I hotkeyed this. So, at least to the 5-minute mark, so for at least the next 2 minutes, we're looking at rain. And we have, let's see, we're going to be fine. Oh, is there going to be rain in the race? We're not going to worry too much about the water on the track. And what happened there? Okay, now what we're going to do is just want to pull them back to neutral and medium. And so we have Gomez in 4th. Kinney in 2nd or 7th. Lap time's 1:19. The handling is much better, so we're doing pretty good. jump over to Gomez. And it looks like the water on the track is going to continue. Well, it's going to level off. It's practice. We don't really much care. What I am going to do is we're going to bring them both in. And it looks like water on the track is going to go down. Nice job with the handling. It's much better. Yeah, so rain is heavy right now. It looks like it's going to decline. If we had the Weather Forecasting Center, we'd be able to have more knowledge coming up. Great, great, and excellent. That is nice to see. We have medium knowledge gained. And so, what we are going to do, we had that originally. Now we have that. I'm thinking we need to shift handling more towards understeer. And we went from okay to great. Okay to great is about 2 pips worth. Is that about 2 pips worth? Actually, it's not. So maybe we put downforce a little too much. So we are going to shift downforce. Let's keep it at 15.5. We'll see where that hits us. And so yeah, we went from 76 to 96. We went from poor to great, which is a difference of 4 pips. So we could probably go a bit more understeer. And the speed balance have shifted more towards acceleration due to those changes. So what I want to do is I want to push this way, push that way. That's about right. Let's see what that will get us. Let's throw them out on intermediates. And then Frankie Kinney. Excellent, good, and good. Ooh, okay, well. 92%, not bad. So we went from poor to excellent. We went from very poor to good. So very poor is, that's about 5 pips difference. So we still probably need to shift it more, possibly towards understeer. Maybe. Yeah, let's go more understeer. We lost speed balance. So more understeer, more acceleration. Alright about that. And then... Alright, that will give us at least a great result. We want a bit more speed balance. We want... Good. I think I'm going to keep it there. But I want to tweak the gear ratios down once more. Although we are going to... We're going to send her out on that. We'll put her out on intermediates. And Gomez is out. Let's follow him. Yeah, there's probably no reason for us to be out on the intermediates. I should have stayed out on softs to get the maximum soft knowledge. How is the rain looking? Well, it's going to continue, although the water on the track is going to drop. Okay. We have level 2 race trim. Alright, give me some feedback. Looks like track grip will be going up at the end, so we'll be... let's bring them both in. Speed balance is right on money. And excellent, and great, excellent. Nice. Alright, I think we're exactly where we needed to be. So, great. So we didn't do much with the downforce. So I think going a little bit more towards high is what we want. We want... was there. Then it was there. Actually, no, we might want to go back the other way. Although, because it is a high speed... let's go to 15 degrees. Actually, no, we want... actually, that really changes things. Whoa. Let's go there. Now, we want to put this back to where it was. We'll put him back out on the softs to finish up 2 laps. And so for Kinney, so we have 99%. I don't think we can get much better. So we're going to just send her out, throw her on those tires. Let's try to maximize our time on the track. And so, Kinney's on her outlap. Gomez is leaving the pit on the outlap. And let's see what kind of feedback we get. 2 minutes left to the practice session. We have high setup knowledge. Awesome. And that's what's nice with the high feedback drivers. With the X driver trait, you can really push that setup knowledge. Really happy with the gear ratios. Nice. And they're both starting on a flying lap, although with that said, they are not going to be able to get around the track one more time. Gear ratios are just right. And Gomez is still in 4th with Kinney in 7th for fastest lap. We are doing pretty good. Practice has ended. And Kinney only gets a 121. Although with that said, her tires are half used up. Arrow's feeling great right now. Just the right setup. That's what I like to see. And there we go. So we put decent times on the board with Andre Gomez and Frankie Kinney. That should bode well for the social media. Anyway, messages. Ruchi Huntington. Garuda Racing will never hold a candle to Dragon Race Team China. Not even in the same league. Alright. Motorsport, great session for SB Racing out there. SB Gaming must be grinning from ear to ear. Of course we are. Does the track here in Milan suit the SB Racing car or something? They're looking like they're going to get good results this weekend. It all depends. Practice is entirely different than the race. But if we do as well in the race as we do in practice, then yeah, although with that said, not everyone will be pushing and actually racing, so that's a big difference. The engineers must have been doing a good job with Faith Anthony's setup because they were showing some impressive pace out there. Andre Gomez's car, 4th place in practice. Yeah, about that. And here we are. It is race day, but you will have to come back next time to find out what happens in the upcoming race. As I mentioned in the previous episodes, I will be running these as one episode of management plus practice, and then race day is the next episode, alternating back and forth, just because I do not want to make massive long episodes. They're all relatively long as it is, but I don't want to make them 2-hour episodes just to have them all in the same episode. Anyway, at this point in time, I'd like to say thank you for joining me for this episode of Motorsport Manager. Thank you for watching. My name is Scott for SB Gaming, and as always, have a good day.